Turn us up. We just burned a bunch of good audio.
Don't go to the light, Dan.
Oh,
Don't go to the light.
Fucking Jesus.
Can you smell burnt corneas yet?
All right.
I smelled my own burnt corneas when I got LASIK.
Hey.
Anyway.
Are they fucking whales mating?
Yes.
Dear God. All right.
You start this shit.
Idiots. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 172 of the Camcast. There we go. I am surrounded by idiots. I'm also Mike, dear leader, Doc Taste, leader of men, herder of cats, wearer of the comfy pants normally, but, you know, as I talked about, listen to Tuesday's episode for why I'm wearing jeans and not my comfy pants. Anyway, I am joined, as always, to my right by the one, the only, the professor of the ghetto arts, your, mine, our Uncle Radical. We call him Scoots. Scoots.
My name's Scoots.
Well, that broke him. Oh my God.
We've broken Zack.
Man, Zack had something for this, but sweet.
He's about as tough as paper mache. He's losing his shit over there.
He's the chairman of the boards. He is Zack Lords.
My name's Zack.
God.
My name's Scoots.
That's...
My name's Scoots.
My name's Scoots.
And sitting across from me, not currently laughing like an idiot. Yet. Don't worry, give it time.
Yeet.
There we go. It is our special guest, our former excitable child, our country-traveling Gavin Phuket.
Ahoy, hoy.
There you go.
Oh.
Yeet.
Wow. Just do it!
Up your fucking shit, Trent. I miss your face.
Trent, we all miss you.
My name's Gavin.
God,
The day you stop being a baby and come back and...
I need somebody to help me with the children, man. This is getting ridiculous.
My name's Zack.
This is
Anyways.
why I never want to become a parent. Anyway, we are at Cam Automag on all the social medias. Gavin is at GP Media, at Gavin's Poor Brain, at Exhibition of Speed. Go ahead and give him a follow. Give them a follow.
Yes.
So on and so
Follow for a follow?
No, I don't subscribe to that shit.
Oh,
How
okay.
to Turo keeps
F4F?
following Cam, and then not following Cam, and then following Cam again. Yeah.
Nice.
That's fun.
Class act.
Yep. Podcast is available everywhere you find podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify. Rate, review, subscribe, share with your friends. If we are not where you normally get your podcasts, let me know by dropping a line to mailbag@camautomag.com. Put podcast location in the subject line and tell me where you want us, and I will do my best to get you there.
Mm-hmm.
And, if I can't, I will kindly let you know. All I'm saying is don't be a dick, because I am trying.
He is.
We're doing this for you guys.
Ah, yes.
And you know how you can help in the quest for us to do this for you? You can subscribe to us on Patreon. Mm-hmm. It's patreon.com/CamAutomag. You could sign up for any subscription amount you'd like, but $5 minimum gets you into the Cam Shenanigans page.
Mm-hmm.
It's where we do all of our shit posting. We get early content.
Yep. So if you're a patron for subscribing to us for at least $5 or more a month, you might be hearing this as early as Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah. It all just really depends on how soon I get this thing edited. But, yeah. Early content, exclusive bonus videos, and other things now that, stuff is happening, like car stuff is happening.
Cars?
Yeet.
Yeah.
Car season.
Yep.
It's about that time, fam.
Finally getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to give a special shout out to friend of the program, our homie in Arizona, Alex Crane.
Hey.
This is the subject is called Rad Libs. Although hard for us tall boys to fit in, I still believe the raddest car to ever rad is definitely the Pantera, because you can drive the Pantera whilst listening to Pantera.
I have to agree with that.
God damn, that's
I have
beautiful.
notes, by the way. I didn't bring this up on the last episode, Tuesday's episode.
This is the perfect place. Oh, by the way, I called him a brilliant bastard because, God damn it, Alex, you're a brilliant bastard.
Because he is.
Yeah.
I love that he sent that from his company email.
It's the best. It's the
territory manager of Martin Engineering.
Sent from my iPhone.
Yeah.
From my company iPhone.
Well, listen, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you people. Most of the correspondence that is happening with the Cam, one, it's with me. Two, it's probably while I'm on the crapper at work. Because, that's just how it is.
That's just how it needs to be.
I get 2 15-minute breaks a day, and God damn it, I'm going to use them as best I can.
You're a government employee.
Government adjacent. Anyway,
That's
Gavin,
right.
your notes.
Notes on raddest car of all time.
Okay.
Vector W8.
God damn.
Everyone else got
shit.
it wrong. Just kidding.
I stand by my decision.
Yeah.
I don't know. How many other cars came with circuit breakers in the dashboard?
Well, and...
Rally cars?
Okay.
How many other production vehicles came with circuit breakers on the dash?
Have you guys seen the interiors of those W8s, though?
They're beautiful.
They're beautifully 80s.
Okay,
and
absolutely.
in all excess. There's a button for literally everything. There's a button that says turbo on it. Like, it's everything.
It's got to be for scramble boost.
Yeah. How would you like your eggs boosted, sir?
Exactly.
Oh,
I just love that
here.
it's got the amber backlit
gonna say, right
LCD
there.
screen.
Yep.
You've got knobs
It's a knob for
and
boost, I'm
buttons,
sorry.
and it's just, dear God, I love it.
There's
It's got
anything
bar
more-
graphs, and it's got everything.
I don't think there's
Thanks, Pinterest.
much more 80s than that.
It doesn't get much more 80s than
No,
that.
I
That
don't
is
think it
literally
does.
a fighter jet interior
Yeah.
in a car.
So,
Wow.
how many of these do they make?
Not a lot.
Very few.
There's a
from what I
guy in
understand.
LA that has two.
Are we really
There's a
surprised?
turquoise and a purple one that goes out to the Cars and Coffees there.
Yeah, I've
beautiful.
seen those two ones regularly on the pages.
This is why we need a video component to
Well,
podcast, so then the good people at home could watch this.
listen, we're still working out the kinks for just live audio,
All
goddammit.
good. All good.
So,
Have you not ordered that thing yet?
I have ordered the thing. I actually have the thing. It's over that away. But
Also-
again, we need some time.
Okay.
Also,
That's fair.
that rear end of that black one.
Good Lord. It's like a fat,
How you doing?
low, wide,
Lotus
grand.
or something.
Man.
No, I'm more thinking like
it's an Apache attack helicopter.
GNX.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
It's a
I could see like a Lotus Elan and GNX somewhere in there.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Anyways,
Anyway.
that was my thought.
There we go.
I should add it.
Super shout out to my homie Jamal down in Las Vegas.
What up, Jamal?
So
You better be listening to this shit.
funny you say that because he said he sent me a message.
Yeah?
Saying, actually, here, hold on. I'm gonna pull it up real quick in my messenger.
Yes.
But he sent me a message saying like. Okay, here it is. Okay, I admit I slept on you guys' podcast, but literally just binged like 6 episodes in a row at
Jamal.
work, and the amount of laughter was glorious. Time to adorn the wagon, and on his 328D
Yeah.
wagon
That's what's
that
up.
says Wagonist on the plate in the vintage Nevada plate. I'll show you guys the old Cam Script logo.
see?
Yeah. Because last time we were down there for SEMA, he rolled
Hell
by.
yeah.
That's when he bought, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So he before this he had a current model Mazda 6 with a man pedal.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yes, and so you guys remember when we were talking about, or somebody was asking what kind of vehicle they should get within a specific budget, and had to be like a wagon or whatever, right? And we started going off the rails, and we basically said the ultimate would be a diesel wagon, right?
Yeah.
Like the day before that episode aired, he bought this wagon, and so he was sitting at the bar listening to one of our podcasts. And we are like laying out his exact decision process.
Oh my god,
Right?
that's awesome.
And so he's like listening to the podcast, and he slams his drink down on the counter and is just like, y'all be in my head or some shit, like real loud in the bar, right? We love you, Jamal.
that's
We love you,
some
buddy.
fun shit.
Yeah,
down there.
I need to come down and say word up.
Yeah, we all do.
I want to come meet you.
Yeah. He's an OG homie
He's
for sure.
good. He's good people.
Definitely good peoples.
Anyway, so just because I'm like that, the other day I was over at my girlfriend's house. She was taking a 3-hour nap I was watching James May's Toy Stories.
How was it?
Oh,
It is a delightful show. I actually watched it when it aired originally on BBC America, and then it's on Amazon, so I was just watching that again.
Oh, cool.
It's fun. Like, they built, basically, they took, like, one of those snap-together, like, scale models of, like, a Spitfire,
Okay.
the plane,
Yeah.
and then they made it a 1-to-1 scale.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Like, they painted it and everything.
Wow.
James got his face, a plaster mold of his face done so they could, like, make a pilot to put in
that's
it.
rad.
Yeah. Then they did plasticine, like Play-Doh stuff, and they made a garden. They put it in the Royal Horticultural Society
Oh my god.
show.
How big was this thing?
I
I mean, you
It
said
was-
1-to-1 scale.
mean, yeah, for the Spitfire, yeah. The Spitfire is not a small plane.
No, it's not.
No. But, I mean, the garden was, I'd probably say, from the dartboard wall to about the end of the TV, and then probably the width of this room.
That's pretty fucking big.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it
Okay.
was, yeah, like they
Yeah.
handmade flowers and
Wow.
they do scale electrics like a slot car.
Oh, sick.
They build a slot car track on the old Brooklands track. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
So they do some fun stuff. The finale is he builds a house out of Lego.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like
Very cool.
a full-on house out of Lego.
Nice.
But anyway, so while I was watching that, I'm just like, well, I posted on the story. This is what I'm watching. I bounced off the Grand Tour, but thankfully I have, James May's Toy Stories. And then the next one was, seriously, am I the only one who has just fallen off the Grand Tour? Am I crazy? And, well, the first response I got regarding am I crazy for not watching the Grand Tour was from Derek Edgington. You're alone. This past episode was the best yet. Okay.
sure.
I have strong opinions about this because I totally get where you're coming from. I remember being so hyped up for Grand Tour. I remember I paid for a month of Prime to watch when it first came out, and was so fucking let down by the first episode because I was expecting Top Gear, and I love Top Gear. I've watched every episode probably 14 times, and it was
You're talking about season 1 back in 2016.
yeah, the very first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
see,
well,
I loved that one. The Holy Trinity.
Yeah, it the part that ended up pissing me off the most with the episode, which I realized why they do it, and it makes complete sense, and I've learned to come to accept it. But to me, I'm like, I keep watching them drive these cars around the track, and I'm like, I know they're not driving these cars. I know there's professional drivers in those cars, and they keep playing it like they're driving the cars, and that kept kind of irritating me. And then I watched the next episode, the one of them in Jordan, or was it Jordan, or is it
I don't know.
You're talking about with the A8?
No, I think it's the A8
Or the A6, the Audi?
when they're like shooting guns.
Yeah,
trying
they're
to-
in the war zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it'd be like, this is like this is like a Jap or Chinese knockoff of Top Gear, where it's
Okay,
like.
so this is all season 1. Have
Yeah.
you seen any of season 3?
So I have watched all of season 3, except the Eurus episode, because I keep forgetting to go back to watch it.
Yeah.
But I've watched it. I watched all of it, and I absolutely love season 3.
Okay.
Season 3 is beyond my favorite. I think it was Brandon Christensen, our own, who said, this feels the most like Top Gear has British
It definitely does. What did you think about the small trucks, though? Because I know that Mike, that's what you said, that's when you dropped off.
So before we go too far on this, a lot of the responses are like, "Oh, well, this is the bet." Like a lot of the responses from people who are saying I'm crazy are also kind of leaning into me saying the show is bad. The show, I'm not saying the show is bad. I'm saying I got halfway through that small trucks episode, and then I got up to do something. And then I just never bothered coming back.
You just can't find the energy. You're just like, well, I could watch this instead of that.
In the intervening time between then, when I stopped watching, and where we record now, I finished watching Cowboy Bebop. I rewatched all of Gundam Unicorn so I could go to a screening of Gundam Narrative. I've blown through several seasons of King of the Hill.
Well, that means King of the Hill.
Yeah, I mean...
You just keep
So
finding things
it's-
that you'd rather watch instead of.
It just hasn't captured your attention.
No, I could... here's the thing. Something can be good, but also at the same time uninteresting.
So,
Right.
yeah,
Interesting.
I totally get you on that, because going back to what Gavin said about the small trucks, that episode was actually kind of boring. And I think what happened
That bored
was,
me.
Yeah, I feel like they filmed like they spent most of the budget trying to film like the Colombian episode, and like, well, we need to fill it, and so they kind of looked back to the past of Top Gear and were like, well, we've done things like this before, but they just didn't know how to produce it in the way where it was entertaining.
Because the small trucks one I could see where you get kind of like uninterested. This one that they've recently done with RVs was interesting, and it did remind me of old Top Gear.
Yeah,
it felt somewhat.
I did think the weird like half story about the Evel Knievel guy was a little out of place.
I mean, I was having the same problem with season 2. Like, it just kind of got to a point where I felt like I was forcing myself to get through these episodes.
Interesting.
Not because I'm enjoying them, but because
You have to watch them.
Yeah,
you feel obligated as someone who's like part of the media. It's part of a public conversation you need to have.
Yeah,
you need to be in the know.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like if I watch more F1 testing, like I've watched more F1 testing than I have of the Grand Tour, and more of the conversations that I've been, kind of tangentially involved in have been more that. Like, I'm not seeing a lot of people talk Grand Tour.
So, like you're thinking the water cooler conversation is now more F1 than Grand Tour?
No, like I'm saying, like the water cooler conversations are at least like it's never just I've not seen somebody post up just like, Grand Tour, this last episode, wow, like they would with some Top Gear episodes.
Yeah.
Or at least I haven't seen that. I blame this on, the almighty algorithm of the Facey space.
The book face.
Yeah.
What controls our lives.
Getting zucked.
It's I get a lot of, I feel personally attacked by this content, a lot of those memes popping up. And then, F1 for some odd reason, which is weird. But
looking at you, Brandon.
Yeah.
Well, let me just finish what I was just like.
I blame Pumpkin for this because he's always posting that fucking group.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
well, round all my thoughts back together just so we can finish it off from my side. Like, I definitely see what you're feeling. Like, yeah, like I said with like the first season, I tried to go back and rewatch the first season because I like to like be currently caught up with a TV show. Like, I can't like hop into the new season of BoJack Horseman and be like, well, what the fuck happened in the 3 seasons before? So I tried doing that, and again, I was just like, I can't get through this. But
see, I'm not
season,
like that. I've been enjoying basically every episode, with the exception, I think, the Urus bit was kind of like they felt like they had to do it because it's a new car that's being talked about a lot.
Yeah,
it's the new thing that
it's
came
a
out.
new thing. They're like, and it's different. Let's try to drive a Lamborghini up a fucking ski resort. The RV one felt somewhat. I don't know. It feels like a successful throwback. I think if that's the best way to put it.
How did you feel about the Columbia episode?
Columbia special was great, but about the RV bit, because they've done it with old Top Gear, not old pre-Clarkson, but earlier Clarkson.
Yeah,
because there were a lot of people that jumped on the Top Gear bandwagon like season 15 and up. This is like what, season 8 or whatever, like from like
way back in the day.
Are you talking Leaning Tower of Citron or
no? I'm talking about when they would be in the U.S. and like have that demo derby of RVs.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's from like a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, with all of that being said, like they did it well. It just, I don't know. There's so many different ways I could like try to like say how I feel, but I don't think that any of them are very accurate because they did it well, but it's been done.
Yeah,
this goes back
but
to
it was really funny. But at the same time, it's like, well, I feel like I've almost seen this before. I mean, Clarkson, or they all fabricate their. I don't know who all has or hasn't seen the episode, but Clarkson fabricates his so he can actually drive his RV on the fucking roof.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah, and it feels like you're driving a boat. So like that's like he like links up the steering.
Yeah,
and it's like a convertible system, so you can like link and unlink steering and throttle like all this
it's
shit.
Literally a
and they're driving through.
Connector.
God damn.
What track were they at?
They
were somewhere in the Mojave Desert.
Yeah, it's like it was like a tiny little track.
Yeah, it wasn't anything well known at all. So yeah, and there were different elements and shenanigans and all that stuff. But I don't know.
Did you see not when he was up top, but when he was parking for their night at the lake? I felt like he had genuine fear of he was going to die in that thing when he couldn't get it to stop. 'Cause I didn't feel like.
I mean, it's very scary when you run out of brake.
Yeah, because like we talked about this last time, where most of the show is fabricated.
Yeah.
and it's all
It's-
written out. I felt like watching. I'm like, he had
There's-
some genuine fear.
Here's
of
what
it
Zach.
not
Here's what
stopping.
you need to do, and I urge more people to do this. But Richard Porter, who was a line writer on both Top Gear and on Grand
Yeah,
Tour,
I think we talked about this a little bit.
yeah, he was on Smoking Tire on Christmas Eve. Is when they recorded it.
I'll have to listen to that one at work. But
Yeah, I
going-
mean, he goes into discussion with Matt about the process and how things land and don't land in the writing room and things that should have or shouldn't have gone. And
But going back to the exact same conversation, we talked about old Top Gear quite a bit, and we talked about like our most standout episodes, which were definitely the specials.
Yeah, or
which they're doing now.
Yeah.
or like the ones where they had, like the films where, my favorite is, the best driving road, where it was
Season 10, Episode 1?
is that
Is
the
that
Lamborghini,
the Romania one episode.
No,
No.
no.
GT3 RS,
Yep.
Aston race car, and Superleggera.
Oh,
Yep.
in Italy. In
Yeah,
Italy, yeah.
Yeah,
Italy
where they
and-
did Stelvio.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they made fun of the Aston Martin for literally having like 4 buttons.
They bought him
For-
a pillow.
Yeah, and he was like naked with like
Yeah.
a bottle of water, just
Yeah.
drenching himself.
But but thinking about old Top Gear, there are definitely some episodes that feel like current Grand Tour episodes where they're just like boring, and like maybe because those cars they were testing, what they were talking about, was current to that time.
And they had to.
Yeah.
They had to cover those cars.
But there's some bits like the one with Richard Hammond taking the pink convertible, the Twingo,
The Micra.
the Micra, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't need to watch that. Or the one where they tried to do try to live out of a smart roadster or
Oh,
whatever
it
it
was smart for two. Or yeah.
Yeah.
No, the smart. Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah, and I was
But-
just like, that's just kind of shit. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
like-
sorry, are you talking about Signet?
No, not the Signet.
Okay.
no,
No,
Richard Hammond and James May like try to live out of this car for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, no, I do
Yeah.
remember that, actually.
Yeah. No,
That was
yeah.
a long time ago.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
there's some
And those feel like new episodes of Grand Tour where I'm just like the truck episode where I'm just like,
A bit gimmicky.
yeah. But then you dash in things like the Bolivia seasons or episode and Vietnam and the ones where they
Bolivia from Top Gear.
go to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they go to Glasgow as teenagers and buy hot hatches, or the time they go down memory road and do around the car.
I keep on bringing this. It wasn't necessarily a special, but the car versus public transport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where SLR McLaren from London to Oslo
Yeah.
versus public transportation. That's still a standout for me.
Yeah,
Also-
like those were. I mean, that's because it's not so much like you can kind of. I mean, even though they're talking about a very specific car, you can kind of in your head like swap out, your own. Like it gets
Right.
It's not one of those just like you're sitting there and they're like, entertaining at you.
Right.
They are just like, hey, we're doing this thing that we thought up,
I totally feel
and then.
I was
in
just
the back of
thinking
your
about
head-
ways to do my own version of that today
Exactly.
from one place to the other. I was literally thinking about that working today.
Yeah, well, one of my favorite in Sport Compact Car, one of my favorite stories was which is quicker from L.A. to Vegas? Flying, like having somebody take you to the airport, drop you off,
Security.
do all of that, or driving.
Right.
And they did that, and it was just like a fucking shitty ass Southwest Greyhound flight.
Greyhound flight. God, that's super descriptive, actually.
That's great.
Southwest Airlines, the Greyhound bus of the skies.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Spirit is Amtrak.
Them and Frontier.
Oh boy! But the car that they chose was an R32 GTR V-Spec.
Oh,
Yeah.
Very
so
nice.
then it had some stuff done to it, like single turbo, and it was kind of meant to just get out and run.
Right.
So, yeah, like that was, just kind of one of those things where it's like, well, I could do that. I mean, I couldn't do exactly that. Like, I couldn't get a Bugatti and a fucking truffle and go from Italy to London.
Good reference. I like that.
But,
Wow.
Yeah.
But
Came full
like,
circle.
yeah. But there are other things where it's like,
There's episodes like there's episodes that make me like feel stuff. Like the cinematography is almost like watching a movie.
The
Like
Patagonia special is
Patagonia.
their
Yeah.
best film that they have ever done.
Oh yeah.
the one that comes to my mind though when I think about episodes that make me feel stuff and like really love cars and like appreciate the art of driving is the Daytona versus the speedboat in
Oh yeah.
is that not Monaco? It's the Riviera.
Yeah, like the French
Oh.
going along the French Riviera.
yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't Clarkson get pulled over on that one?
that was Hammond.
Hammond
Oh.
and James May.
Yeah, May was in
What?
the boat. Hammond was in the Ferrari Daytona.
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe it
like
was
over
blue
the
is correct.
and over the course of the film,
Yeah.
Hammond falls in love with this car that he even says at the time was a dinosaur.
Yeah, it
Right.
was a shitty car.
Because it wasn't a shitty car, but it was just like, I mean, it came out the same time Lamborghini debuted the Miura.
Right.
So it was like, well, this is what we're doing now. Why are you still putting that engine like in front of you?
right.
What the fuck? But it was,
But-
the Ferrari Daytona was like the car.
Right. Some people still think it is.
I mean,
It's a
history.
good car.
Yeah.
It is a shit car for the time, but good car overall. But like that episode made me like love cars. Like I didn't know what a Daytona was. I probably couldn't even describe to you like the inner workings of a car when I watched it the first time. But 14-year-old me fell in love with that, and I was like, I like driving. I want to like driving, and like there's a couple episodes like that. Like, but that's when it came to my mind was
Yeah.
that one.
And you see, guys, I don't feel so bad about saying now that I have only seen the first season and the first 2 episodes of season 2.
Season
of the
2,
Grand
don't
Tour.
waste your time. Season 3 is
Yeah,
much,
season-
much
I mean,
better.
I'll probably watch it. I'll binge watch it or something, I'm sure.
Well,
Fine.
But I mean,
torrent.
the same thing has happened to me, and I think it's because I don't really have that type of addictive personality to where I'll seek out
Oh, yeah.
what I want,
Uh-huh.
in that manner. Because I've done the same thing with The Walking Dead and the Fear the Walking Dead.
Okay.
Did they ever get out of the boxcar?
I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
You're always looking out for me.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of that along that same notion. It's like I didn't care at all about The Walking Dead until like the middle of season 4. I watched the pilot episode from season 1 and was hooked and binge watched it all the way up to the pre finale or like the whatever you call that.
sure.
The
lead up.
of that season, and I just craved it. I was just craving season 5, and I craved season 6, and then like the middle of season 6, like I changed jobs and I moved 1,000 miles away. I came back from North Dakota, and like I didn't have a TV at that time with cable service, and I didn't really care to watch it on my computer. And like it was one of those things where it was relatively little work to try and go get,
Right.
but I didn't want to expend any effort, and so I just didn't.
You just lost your
It just
heart on
fell
for
out
it.
of fashion. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I didn't want to chase it, and I feel like it's kind of the same thing. I don't have Amazon Prime. I don't have any way to really watch this, so I kind of go off of if somebody else has it playing, or if somebody else is like, "Hey, do you want to come over and watch this?"
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just don't seek it out. I've, like you said, I kind of lost the heart on for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, and I mean, that's not to say that it's probably a really great show. I can't speak of it because I haven't seen the meat and potatoes of it. I've seen the first season where they tried to not be Top Gear for
To a
legal
fault.
reasons.
To a fault.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And then I've seen the first couple episodes of season 2 where they started to change things up, and then I just didn't really care after that.
And I personally I'm one of those people where if I really like someone for doing the one thing that they do, and if I'll like them enough to want to see what they would do outside of that, that's actually one of the reasons why I have like watched watch and listen, like with Farah's watch podcast,
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
and things like that, like things that's like completely unrelated to cars, or in this case, it's Grand Tour versus Top Gear because they're not the same.
No, they're
very
definitely
much not the same. And I wanted to follow and see how they would take on this different task. And I've I've wanted to see it out because I've seen Promise. I've seen them, like, I could see it there. They just need to fucking like focus and actually get it.
Yeah,
They're getting close.
they're
getting a lot better.
It's like they're circling around the niche. It's like that little silver ball that's going down the funnel.
I'm the teacher. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm the teacher, and they're really promising student, and there's so much ambition and like there's drive there, but they're just not fucking turning in their homework.
Yeah,
which is actually
Just do it!
There we
There
go.
we
I
go.
pushed the button. I don't know what the hell happened.
which was me in high school, to be honest.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dave, did you watch much of Top Gear at all, or?
In its later years, a little bit, yeah. I mean, I started to focus on it a bit more. Yes.
It was more of a cultural icon at that point.
Yes, it really was. It was almost like a kind of a essential viewing, if you will.
I mean, they were after the Super Bowl and the World Cup, they were the largest viewed television show of all time.
For obvious reason.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I did watch a little bit of it. It wasn't exactly a staple for me. To be fair, not really much of anything is, but
Fair enough. Yeah, I think for me, Top Gear has a little bit of a more special heart because I started watching it as a kid, so it fell into like that, like still growing up, and like it really connected with me because like I found a passion in it, and so still being still young, it really dug a hole in my heart for me.
yeah.
Oh, well, all right. I'm going to just read a few more of these responses real quick before we get off of this.
Sweet.
Yep.
We've only spent a half hour on it.
Hey, I don't think...
Which is great.
That was a
Yeah.
great tangent.
It's good.
Yeah.
I like it when we can open ourselves up on stuff like this. This
Yeah.
is nice.
Yeah.
I actually just really enjoyed listening to you guys on that. So
Bared my soul and heart to you guys. Don't stab me from the inside.
We're not going to.
Okay.
So touchy.
he does this at work.
After he gets that dude's name wrong 7 times in a row.
Yeah, he stopped.
Guys,
caring.
look what I accomplished. Well, I mean, it's great that you tried, but you completely fucked this up. Can you do this again?
We didn't want you to make a duck, but I mean, it's beautiful.
I heard that at least 3 times today at work.
Anyway, Ricky from San Pete Grease and Grub. I haven't started the Grand Tour because the first season was so boring. Which,
Same dude.
yeah. Let's see. Clark Pedersen. Nah, bro, I watched a few early on, then watched some of the current season. They're just missing that fizz they had on Top Gear.
The fizz, is that the one directly behind the penis?
Damn.
I gotta give you that.
Wow.
Let's see. Then
That guy's face when he was on the couch, though.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Yikes.
let's see. JT Watson. He just wondered if I had watched James May's other kind of miniseries, Man Lab. I have not.
No.
I didn't know he had another series. I knew he had the Toy Box thing.
Toy Stories. Yeah, it's good.
Did you ever
Is it?
see the bit he did, or the special series he did about like the people's cars?
I heard of it, but I never saw it.
It's
That came on my autoplay after I finished one of the episodes of Grand Tour. I was like, oh, I wonder what this is. And it was fucking riveting.
Oh,
Talking about everything from Beetle to Fiat 500, like the original one, to
Yeah.
Lada.
Neat.
Talking about the Riva and stuff, how it was originally a Fiat, and like all this
Okay.
stuff.
speaking of Russian cars, have you seen that video of like the ice drifting in Russia, the competition with
Yes.
the S15 and that
Yes.
fucking
That little wagon.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just-
I saw. Oh, okay. So it looked almost unbelievable from the shot from the grandstands,
Yeah.
right? And then the one I saw was the shot from the grandstands, and it had the little thumbnail of the judges like losing their
mind.
shit.
Like,
Yeah,
Picture in picture.
yeah,
it was
okay.
it was a pip of them
Okay.
like low key losing their shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, that's that. The action that little wagon made and how close in proximity it was to this Nissan made it look like one of those like hilariously modified like airplane videos, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this can't be.
This is impossible.
This like, I mean, like I could see it, but this just doesn't seem right. And I saw a second view of it from the infield, ground level from the infield, and I think contact was actually made. So when the car over centers and is just back towards the towards the front end of the Nissan, it's like you can barely see the reflection off the Nissan, right? And as it straightens back around to come doors with them, it almost for a second looks like the rear bumper grazes the quarter panel of the Nissan. No marks that I could have seen, but it looked like it was such close proximity that it could have probably just barely grazed it.
Oh my God.
And then they were just right back into that ballet.
Jesus.
It just blew my mind.
Fuck.
Oleg's out
Loved
there
it.
fucking getting rowdy and something made of scrap steel, paper mache.
Well, I mean, here's the
while
thing.
you're fucking getting a hard-on for S15s and wanting to slam a 2J in there.
I mean, here's the thing: is I adore S15s. I mean, hell, I wanted to put an S15 front end on my 14, but like, there's something to be said about ice drifting. One and two, being able to slide this little 90 horsepower shit box on stretch 13s, right? As well or better than, one of the most iconic drift vehicles of all time. You got to think, like, this dude just came in at like, I don't give a shit. My car costs more than your over fender, or my car costs less than your over fender.
Right.
I'm just going to huck it in here, and if I total it, I got another one in the trailer.
Time to nut up or shut up.
Yeah, the guy probably buys them by the six pack. Like, let's be real.
Goes to Costco, be like, I'll take that pallet.
Yeah, this is an '81 Honda. How dare you?
It has like a hard-based mixtape that as soon as he wads one up, he just gets it out of the deck, goes over to the next one. Tape in. Amazing.
We were pretty good on time, by the way. Did you see
God,
that?
what the shit just happened right there?
Can I get that copy to make my new ringtone?
Copy
Yeah, there
strike.
we go.
Could copy strike you.
And then let's see.
Going after your address.
Is it
man.
hour,
be
by the
like
way?
be like YouTube where it just mutes the audio track. So you set it as your ringtone, but it's like, nah, you can't do that. So you just
No.
don't have a ringtone anymore.
You get the
missing
same
so many-
icon from YouTube, but popping up on your phone.
Yeah.
How many fucking times am I gonna miss these phone calls? Oh, it's not ringing.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Oh, thanks. Let's see. Tristan said, I'm very alone on this one. But, no.
Sad.
Then he said it was a forgettable show, so I don't know where he's standing on that. It's Tristan. He's complicated. He's like an onion. There are layers. By the way, happy birthday.
Tristan, I want to drive your SW20. goddammit.
I want to drive the Cressy.
We should have a date.
Yeah, there we go.
We should
The
have a-
S-Dub has some new body modifications to it.
Really?
It's got a little bit of a dress up.
Laser thrusters.
Close.
Yay!
It's got a complete aero package from 3 different manufacturers. And
Oh.
it looks very period now.
Really?
Hot
That
damn.
car
Is it
looks
clean? Like it
very
all
period.
like it's cohesive and shit?
Beautiful.
Tristan, let me drive your fucking car. We talked about it like last year and I think the year before.
Yeah,
we couldn't make it work.
And I believe the car's been cleaned up a little bit as
Good.
well. And I think I don't know if they've done
had
anything
coolant
with
issues
the
at one
tune
point.
or whatever. But I think it is
saved his ass
mechanically
once.
sound. Yeah,
Yep.
it is mechanically sound now, from what I understand.
I mean, it's making
So,
allegedly 350.
yeah,
Fuck.
it's got a big boy turb ski on it. So
He tells me he drives it up Alpine Loop, and I don't know how he does it.
he's suicidal.
Okay.
He's,
That's the only way. I
Teach
could
me
think
your
of it.
ways, Tristan.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
anyway, last 2 responses before we get into some other things.
Yes.
From Josh Dodson, I actually loved the new episode.
Of course you did.
I mean, again, not saying it was bad. I'm just saying I bounced off it. There's a difference. And then Dave Kazarian, who I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. Next week we're going to have Dave and Matt from NASA Utah on
Woot.
because we're going to be a few weeks out from the season at that point. No, he says, I think this has been the best of the 3. I think this season has been the best of the 3. So thank you, everybody, for reaching out. Appreciate that. And now, guys, we have a decision to make.
Okay.
Do we have Gavin answer questions from the field, from
Okay.
the people,
Okay.
or do we look at this Florida Man top 10, or do we try and do both?
We could do both and run long, or we could save it for Dave and Matt.
I'm not sure they're going to appreciate it, though.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
It's up to you.
oh, don't worry. I can find 10 more Florida Man stories. Don't you worry.
Not hard. I think we can definitely play with Florida person of interest in the future.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Let's get to Gavin, and if we've got the time,
All right.
let's roll through Florida.
Okay, I'm just going to have this thing.
Because I'd rather hear about you, Gavin.
Oh, thanks,
I'm
Dave.
just going to go ahead. Okay, there we go.
Love you, Dave.
You're super tender, bud.
We are there. Anyway, so.
Heart you.
I don't love you, Gavin.
Okay,
Feelings
Gavin.
mutual, Zach.
Thanks.
So here's what I'm thinking we're going to do. We're going to go ahead. We're going to ask some questions, and then we're going to have you just randomly tell stories about what you've been up to.
Okay, that works.
I.e. going up the canyons and, shooting photos and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be a perfect lead-in from last week's guest, Queen of Rad, Madison Eskelson. Gavin, after you read this, you have to do the rest of this podcast in the Slav Squat. Oh, boy. Oh, here he goes.
Oh, he's going to fucking die.
Oh, God. Please don't die. Not in the basement.
Someone needs to get a fucking camera out for this shit and send it to Madison.
He ain't gonna do it.
That was in unison.
This
Oh, my God. Hold up.
Oh.
It's spinning. And that's not
You-
that's not the beer in me. Like the
no,
chair is spinning.
this chair. Yeah, it's a. This is
I
amazing.
hope this works.
I am.
But I'm not doing it the whole episode. This is.
Oh, damn it. Well,
I felt like I was on a little display.
it was hilarious. Anyway,
You were on a turntable.
yep.
Like I pulled my headphones off like a fucking dumbass.
Yes, that was. I saw you going back. I'm just. Oh no.
I hope
Thanks
I
for the
made you
warning.
proud, Maddie.
Oh. Anyway, so
I like how my shutter caught you as you were looking, like just before you were looking at me, and your face reminds me of Filthy Frank in this one because of the direction your eyes are pointed.
Yes. Yeah, you know what?
Fuck
it,
I'm
that's-
going to send that to everybody.
Yeah, well, make that my new profile picture.
Oh, I love it.
Because
Okay,
I
cam
already got.
shenanigans.
Speaking of Madison, she just took my latest cover photo of me sliding my Fozzie around the snow. We went up to Big Cottonwood to shoot that Focus RS and R32 GTR, and we were trying to find some like pullouts on the side of the road to take some scenic, like rocky background stuff, and all the pullouts were full, and so we decided to just go up to Solitude and just kind of dick around up there. And I had Andrew Jackson. Shout out to Andrew Jackson.
shout out.
AJ Media 801.
Yep.
He was riding in the back seat. Madison was in the front of the Fozzie. And then we had the two cars behind us. I was like, okay, Madison, you should get out because this was her shoot. She was kind of directing everything. And so I was like, okay, you get out and tell them where you want them. I'm just going to go hoon around and get some donuts in because the parking lot was full of snow.
There you go.
And so got out and did some of that, and she got snacks and pictures of the Fozzie in all of its glory. So that's now my cover photo. That
Nice.
replaced two Porsches in Southern California.
Well, hot damn.
Good Lord Almighty. I feel like such an amazing photographer now.
There we go.
So
All right. Next question from AJ Glassmacher. If you could track day for one day with any driver, pro or otherwise, who would it be and why? Then, if they're pro, they're bringing their entire crew with them. And which track would you go to?
okay, I read this today. I didn't have the time to really necessarily give it thought, but as soon as you reread it, I thought of the perfect match.
Okay.
Patrick Long.
Adorable Patrick Long.
Mm-hmm. Patrick Long with some GT3 Cup cars.
There you go.
And I would, I don't know, like I want to say Laguna Seca. I think
That'd be
it would
good.
have to be either Laguna Seca or Sonoma.
All right.
I would think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Let's see, from Logan Genesis. If you had the option to outright choose and receive a free track spec / proven racing car of sorts, but you could never drive it, what would it be? And then he, covering Rally, Le Mans, record-setting vehicles, salt flat cars, Formula cars, Indy cars, whatever. So basically, you're getting.
Yeah, but I can't drive it though.
Nope, it is essentially a lawn ornament.
Right. So like what I picture in my head is a car in the living room. Sort of thing, where like it's locked in there, like you built the house around the car, effectively.
Oh, yeah.
As much as I adore the sound of 5-cylinder turbos and the big mud flaps and the angular designs of the S1 Quattro.
Yeah.
I don't think I would actually want to really drive it that much. So it would have to. I feel like it would have to be that.
Okay.
And the S1 Quattro from Spec B.
Okay.
Or sorry,
Solid
I mean
choice.
Group B. Sorry.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You've made my heart
Thank
happy.
you.
It's interesting because I was thinking about that same question, what I would do. And I also...
My first thought was a Formula One car. It was like a 5-year-old Formula One car.
Yeah.
I couldn't quite. I don't know. Like it'd be cool,
They're
but
good looking cars for sure. Like a Williams car or a BMW car.
yes.
Yeah, BMW was earlier.
The aero cars that really have like flow and like their body
Yeah.
work and stuff like that'd be cool.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
That's what I'm going with.
Oh,
The XJR9 Evo?
Yep.
mine. David is gonna have to help me with this, but I would pick the Delta HF.
The Integrale?
The launch, the HF
but
Integrale.
with the Martini one with the blue interior.
Got it.
Ooh, interesting.
You might have to
Nice.
search that one.
It's the Martini edition, but it's not the Martini race car.
Yeah.
Right. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not Martini livery, but it's a
Right.
Martini edition.
Right.
An honorable mention would be Porsche 919 Evo.
But then do Martini.
I think that would be a solid,
Yeah.
honorable mention.
Interior.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Martini one actually did get a Martini style stripe. It
Yeah.
looks like.
It's not the one that's top and second left. It's the second up and second
Yeah, so
left.
right there.
Oh, there we go. That's
Bro.
I am
Oh,
in on
all right.
that.
Yeah,
Is
come
that
on.
blue suede?
Yes,
What
it
it
is.
looks like.
Oh,
I would never be
yeah,
able to sit in
Recaro's
that car,
suede.
but it's beautiful.
Ooh.
It has the HF.
The HF Evoluzione.
Yeah, this is the
Uno.
one. These photos are beautiful. But it has the
Yeah, it's a
little.
good looking
Well, yeah, I mean, this is for a Sotheby's auction.
yeah.
That damn well better be good, right?
Yeah.
How much? How much?
All the numbers.
Yeah.
I never noticed the
talked
The
about
elephant.
Yeah, there you go.
The elephant's
in,
awesome.
in the HF
I believe
logo. I never
there's an
noticed
elephant in
that.
the back of the seats as well. He's throughout a couple parts of this car.
Are we talking seven figures? That's not seven
this
figures.
sold for 134,400 euros.
It's like 150 basically in 2016.
So actually not.
Not as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah,
I was thinking 3.
I mean,
Pos-
not
possible.
bad. It's
Yeah.
one of 310 Martini 6.
yeah. So
Yeah.
this is
Last of the non-catalyzed Deltas.
It's a beautiful. I totally do not want to belittle your Audi Quattro, which is still that would be number 2.
I
on
mean,
the
that's a
list.
solid answer. But
Yeah.
well, the thing is, I'd want to drive that.
I would
That's
love
the
to,
issue.
too, but I couldn't drive that one because the paint. I don't want to get dirty suede is like the ugliest thing in the world.
That's true.
yeah.
That's true.
But I
That's
just-
why you just get black suede.
Yeah, that would be the driver's
I would
car.
honestly just like get
Oh.
hella floor mats and change out the seats, and then throw the seats in when I would want to take it to a Cars and Coffee or something.
But that car does not count. According to his rules, it has to be a race car. That car never raced.
Nope.
So S1 Quattro
S1
There you
Quattro
go.
is more qualified.
or BMW
Love
F1.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, the M1.
No, the BMW F1.
Yes, I would have an M1.
M1 would be cool as well.
M1.
I'd
Like
want to
M1
drive that
an
though.
M1 Pro car.
M1 Pro car.
I'd want
Yeah.
to drive that though. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Those,
Those got the shit driven out of them.
yeah.
Oh God.
Photo of like the 10 of them on a trailer. Oh,
Oh well, so the M1 Pro Car series was a support series for Formula One, and
Yeah.
a lot of the Formula One drivers would drive in that.
oh, so they got the shit beat out of them.
Oh fuck yeah, they treated them like goddamn bumper cars.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like, here, drive these for spectators, and like we'll fix them. It's not your team.
Okay.
Fuck.
I'm just
Anyway,
imagining the Aston Martins and the trailer pull that they were treated like that.
dude,
You see that?
No.
It's Max Verstappen and who's the other Red Bull?
Max Verstappen and well, it was Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, Ricardo. Yeah, they were in like McLaren Vantages towing trailers on a
Aston
truck.
Vantages?
Yeah, what did I say?
You said McLaren.
You said McLaren.
Aston. It's been a
Yep.
long day. Like towing trailers around a track, and they were just like tearing them up and stuff.
Fuck.
Damn,
This
So-
sounds familiar, actually.
Or were they Jaguars?
they would have been Aston Martins if it was Ricciardo and
Yeah, okay.
Verstappen.
Yeah, you're
It
right.
would have been really weird if it were anything
Yeah.
else.
You're right.
So
Sorry.
the
Yes.
Brandons
They-
asked you questions, and I want to preface both of these questions
Yes. Okay.
with my own question.
Okay.
How many vehicles have you rented on Turo?
Yes. So I saw these questions earlier.
Okay.
I've rented on Turo specifically. It's been 3. It's been the first ever one. Actually, was the M4.
Okay.
It went M4, Fiesta ST, and the 718.
Okay. All right. So Brandon Kuhn asks, what is the coolest / your favorite thing you've rented on Turo?
Okay, so like I try to pair up cars and roads and experiences together.
It's like a certain meat and a fine wine.
Yeah, exactly. Or I do that with cars and roads, and I also do it with driving experiences and
Drink.
Yeah, my drink's empty.
Damn it.
And although I appreciate that, that and music as well.
Okay. You got to have everything in place in order for it to be a very visceral, euphoric experience.
And there's a bucket list item that's on my list, which might actually happen this year.
Oh, really?
I will let you all know if and when that happens. That has to do with the pairing of car and location and music.
Got it.
However, the coolest car. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so like the Fiesta ST isn't a cool car. It's fun as shit.
It's lit.
It's lit as fuck.
Yeet.
It's lit AFM.
Yeet, 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 yeet.
It's that, but it's also not as lit as the rear tires of the M4 when I launched it from a light leaving LAX. So, I would think as far as a cool car is concerned, I'd have to go with M4.
Okay.
I would like the Porsche is amazing.
I'm surprised your answer was not the Porsche, honestly.
Well, because I think about street presence.
Okay,
and
that's fair.
Because I also took other people that were not like a part of my trip when I rented the M4. Shout out to Nico Silva. I went over to his shop and he had some friends over there, and I took them for a ride.
Nice.
Shoved one of them in the back seat and the other one up front with me, and we were just mobbing.
Nice.
Through some of these side streets and stuff, and like it had like that car's presence for sure. It's a black, aggressive, larger GT 2-door BMW.
Okay.
So it sounds better than the Porsche in my opinion a little bit. Yeah, I just think that's a cooler car. I'm not saying I would have the Porsche over the Porsche, but
okay. And then on the converse,
Right.
Brandon McConkey, he says he'd like to know the opposite. What's the biggest shitbox you've ever rented, and have you ever had a bad experience from the renter? And I would kind of like to add an asterisk or a side tangent to this,
Right.
because you've only had 3 cars on Turo. Maybe I'd like to open this up to, the shittiest car you've ever driven.
Yeah.
It's the shittiest
Right.
car of somebody else's that you've ever
shittiest
driven.
rental that
Yeah.
outside of Turo.
Sure.
Well, I'm just going to go off and say, first of all, I've never had a bad experience with Turo yet. I have some mechanical sympathy for the cars I've driven.
You are one of those people who tends to drive them the way
Harder.
they probably should be driven, if not a little beyond.
A little bit. I will say, though, and I can have this corroborated by Nico, who was with us with the Cayman when we went up to Ojai, and we did Highway 33 up there,
Okay.
which is splendid.
Just beautiful,
It's
huh?
amazing.
I'm going to have to look that up.
Oh, dude. I'll send you a video to our GTR video I did with Everyday Driver back in 2014.
Nice.
It was 2010 versus 2014 GTR with 2014 Evo thrown in there as well.
Okay.
So that was the last time I'd been there. And so we drove up there, and we were at this kind of dirt, gravel pullout. And whenever I'm going into these pullouts, it's very slow and creeping because I don't want to totally fuck up the car with paint and just get it dirty because we're going to fucking shoot it anyway. We need it to look good.
Right.
And we were doing some drone shots of some of the landscape, and a rock truck drives by
Oh, no.
while we were parked there and trying to get some stuff done. Drops rocks everywhere.
Of course.
Because it rains, you need to drop a bunch of rocks to add traction, right?
Of course.
Apparently. So I feel bad because later, after we had washed and detailed the car and we were filling up, I still saw some rocks in the side vent. Still. So I'm like, I don't know what to do here. So we
Goodness.
just I didn't say anything. This is the first time I'm saying this publicly. But there's also there's nothing I could have done, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I was within my miles. I was at that time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything else was fine. It was solely circumstantial.
Okay.
But the owner never hit me up and said like, "Hey man, like what the fuck is this?" or anything like that. He hit me up. He was like, "Hey, so I saw you went, all these extra miles. This is what you owe me." I'm like, "Okay, cool, done.
Can do.
I can do that."
Yep.
Yeah, because we used our whole mileage limit before we had actually shot in the in-car.
Right.
And so we put on another extra 100 miles.
Right.
So.
Okay.
But you said the worst rental car I've had?
I mean, I would say in general, yeah, the worst
Yeah.
of any car you've
Nissan
driven.
Sentra
Oh god.
Yeah.
that I had. Okay, so the story behind that was I had just moved into downtown February of last year. And it was the third day or something. It was the same week that I moved in. We had a big snowstorm, and I live on the side of the hill. And this chick driving a Camry locked him up and slid from her end of the road to my end of the road to right into my rear passenger or rear driver's side door. And so this story has a happy ending. Actually, believe it or not, I take the car to she left her name and number.
Well, that's good.
Which helps. And so I called her. She sent me her insurance information. I had an assessment done. I took the car to Nate Wade Body Shop. And the assessment ended up being around $900 more than what the repair was. Plus, the door that I got and the door itself was actually a better door than before the crash. The car was before the crash.
Yeah.
So I got an improved part for cheaper than what it was supposed to be.
Nice.
There was no real loss there, and the insurance company paid for my rental car as well.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Yeah, but that car made me want to fucking hang myself.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Which is interesting because you basically drive the panel wagon version of a Sentra all day.
I do. Yeah, I didn't necessarily enjoy that van at first. I've grown to enjoy it more as I start to push the limitations of it a little bit more.
Because you keep beating it, it keeps asking for more.
It's kind of a masochist, yeah.
You choke it and it says harder, Daddy.
A little bit. A little bit.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I wish I had a dash cam and sometimes I wish I didn't. 'Cause,
Okay, fair.
incriminating evidence.
Yeah.
Remember, you can always delete things off SD cards.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. But yeah, the Nissan Sentra is the worst rental car I've had. The best rental car outside of a Turo has to be that CX-5, though.
Nice.
Trent can fuck himself when I say that.
We all love the CX-5. I think
fantastic.
we couldn't stop singing the praises. I remember
it's
that.
not just us, though. I've heard Everyday Driver guys and Farah talk about the CX-5.
Well, a buddy
well.
of mine is a master tech at Southtown Mazda.
Okay.
And he's on his second CX-5.
So the newer one,
Yes.
probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
That
had a
car is super
2017.
Yeah, the older ones are they're okay.
Yeah,
There's
he
nothing
had
wrong with them.
He had a mid-options 2017 CX-5
Okay.
on lease, and then traded it in for a full options 2018.
Nice.
And we took that thing to Vegas
What
once.
color?
And so it's white with the parchment interior.
Ooh.
So white on the white.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
really classy.
Yeah.
It has rear seat heaters, which made me very happy.
No
Oh yeah,
way.
you've been in that thing.
Yeah,
That's
I've ridden
right.
in it.
That's
Damn.
right.
It's a nice car.
That fantastic vehicle. But
Yeah.
So Andrew Jackson says, "Oh, I have so many questions."
Yeah,
he
we're
does have
gonna-
a lot of questions.
we're gonna-
I
we're
see
gonna
him
have-
every day.
Yeah,
but
we're going to have
okay.
to do rapid fire with
Okay.
him and Pumpkin. So,
Yeah,
'cause
okay,
they-
so-
Hell, yeah.
Here we go. Sudden death round right here.
Okay.
All right. Do you send it in the Forester?
Do I?
Do you?
Yes.
Okay. How many cars have you driven over 100 miles per hour on East Canyon?
Too many to count.
Awesome.
All of them.
How do you get such luscious hair?
Jeans.
Okay. Is Miata always the answer?
No.
Fiesta ST.
Yes.
Why though?
Because it's the best bang for the buck that you can get out of a new car. That's $15,000.
Fucking rights. Awesome.
Answered that. What should he do when he goes to Vancouver?
Oh, I don't know. Smoke pot, take photos, fuck bitches, get money.
Coffee.
Coffee.
There's really good coffee in Vancouver.
That's what I've
Yeah.
heard as well. It's the better Seattle.
Yes.
Yes.
It's the Seattle with less hipsters.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
I think that was a terrible question to.
Can I ask a small question?
Oh, what?
No. Okay, go ahead.
In and out, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I just had it yesterday.
Okay. Anyway, Pumpkin, when do you think you're going to lose your virginity?
It's funny because it's been long enough where I feel like I'm actually growing it back.
How many how many scantily clad knife fights have you been in?
Not enough.
Whatever happened to the murder trial in 2012? Your murder trial.
My murder trial? Did I murder somebody?
Apparently so.
Ooh, I didn't get that memo.
What 2 pieces of advice do you have for when you're attempting to remove an ingrown hair from your lower back in the dark and you want no one to hear you?
Just fucking send it.
Okay,
Bite
that's
the
one.
pillow.
What's
Yeah, get a pillow and bite it.
damn? Okay. How did Family Guy actually last this long?
I don't know. It's not funny.
If you could please describe your perfect garlic bread in less than 15 syllables.
Ooh, just the right amount of garlic spread.
Just the right amount of garlic spread.
That's syllables, not words.
That's what he said.
Oh,
Less than 15 syllables.
okay. Was that less?
Just the right amount of...
Garlic spread?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're good.
That's 9. We're good.
Okay,
There you
we're
go.
good.
All right.
That was fucking amazing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, so I thought you were calling that. I'm like, wow. Is it doing words instead of syllables? Fuck.
I thought you said words and not syllables.
Nope. He
Okay.
said syllables.
Is that it?
Yeet.
That's it.
For the rapid fire?
We're done.
Can I have another question?
Oh, God. Real
What?
quick.
What?
When are we hanging out next?
I don't know.
Right. All right. We will.
That's the answer I was expecting.
All right, folks. We're going to go ahead.
So,
Leave me on red again, bitch.
should we go ahead and close this bad boy down?
Yep. I
What?
think that's what we're going to have to do.
All right, let me throw some stuff in here real quick. So, today's episode was brought to you by Steady Broke Clothing.
Yep.
Steady.broke on all the social medias, steadybroke.com. Go check out their stuff. They got t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, all kinds of goodies. Just because you're broke doesn't mean you can't live your dreams. Steadybroke.com. Type in CamAuto15 and the coupon code gives you 15% off the entire order. And it's also brought to you by CamAutoSwag.com. Go pick up the new Understeer to Victory t-shirt that is out. This is March's shirt of the month.
Well, let's just double check before we go ahead and say go pick that up.
And even if it's not, this is going to be your last chance ever to get the Pinto Goes Boom t-shirt.
Yep.
So check that out. We've got beanies, we've got sweatshirts, we've got hats, we've got tote bags. Just get one of all of them and support us. And if you'd also like to support us, you can hit us on Patreon, patreon.com/camautomag. $5, really you could subscribe for any amount, but $5 a month or more gets you access into the Cam Shenanigans page, which is where we do all of our shit posting and all of our early release content for people like you.
Yep.
Because we love you. So
That
check
we
it
do.
out and subscribe, support us. We're going to invite one of you guys to come in here as soon as we get to the $150 a month level.
Yep.
If you want to be that guy that subscribes at $150 a month, I will personally drive you here.
There we go.
That should be, worth it right there.
Yep.
But it's neither here nor there. So, I got most of the housekeeping. I think
Yes,
you
you
can bring
did.
it home.
Gavin, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, as always.
No problem. GP Media on Instagram, Gavin Support Brain on Instagram, Exhibition of Speed on Instagram and YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there you go.
Go watch our 718 video.
Follow, subscribe. We'll link to that down in the show notes.
Give me validation.
Yes.
Damn it.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeet.
There you go.
Wow.
That's perfect. Anyway, we are at Cam Automag on all the social medias. If you like this episode, if you hated it, let us know on social media or by dropping us a line at mailbag@camautomag.com. This podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify. Rate, review, subscribe, share with your friends. If we're not there, if we're not on your podcast platform of choice, let me know. I'll try to get it there.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. Yeah, this weekend there's shenanigans happening out at the Life Motorsports Proving Grounds, but me and Dave are going to be doing brakes on a Nissan Altima, probably, maybe.
You won't be out there with
Yay.
me? Maybe I'll have to get coverage for it for you.
I think you're probably going to have to, so good luck, Zach. Godspeed.
I might need to borrow a lens
Yeah, well, I only have the one.
for the A6000.
Yeah, I just have that fixed.
That's all I have for mine, but mine's broken.
Yeah.
We can talk about this later.
Yes, we will. Anyway, So, for episode 172 of the Camcast, I have been Mike.
My name's Scoot.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Damn.
My name's been Zack.
And I'm still Gavin Picar.
Damn right you are.
Oh my God!
Don't let don't let anybody ever take that away from you.
Name's Zack.